According to a leaked copy of the Kremlin's forecast, Russia has privately acknowledged that crippling Western sanctions are to blame for the biggest economic collapse in the nation's history. In these papers, the Russian finance ministry projects a 12% decline in GDP this year, the country's worst economic downturn since 1994, when Russia was lurching towards capitalism under President Boris Yeltsin. The leaked document shows that Russia is experiencing a severe and prolonged recession as a result of the harsh sanctions imposed by the US and Europe as a result of its illegitimate invasion of Ukraine. According to Bloomberg, the economy sector for Russia confirmed the findings of an internal report written for the government that suggests that the company's GDP may not start to increase until the end of 2030. Will this be the great downfall of one of the strongest economies in the world? The United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, Canada, Japan, Australia, and other nations have all responded to Putin's invasion of Ukraine in a way that was never seen before. Even Switzerland, which is renowned for its impartiality and banking secrecy, has vowed to impose sanctions on Russia. According to Le Maire, sanctions have now frozen Russian assets worth close to $1 trillion in total. Cyberbank and VTB, two of Russia's biggest banks, have no longer got direct access to US dollars, all thanks to the West. Additionally, it's taken action to delist a few Russian banks from SWIFT, a global messaging platform that links financial institutions and enables quick and secure payments. Now, the country's export-based economy has entered a deep recession as a result of the wide-ranging Western penalties that followed, including a partial freeze of its reserves. The ruble has outperformed all other currencies this year thanks to the central bank's implementation of emergency capital controls in an effort to prevent a large-scale sell-off after February 24th, when Russia started what it refers to as a special military operation in Ukraine. As a result, the Russian government officials are now able to make more optimistic predictions about the state of the economy, helping to prevent the economic meltdown that many had predicted. The leaked report, however, presents a negative picture, in contrast to the optimistic public statements made by the Kremlin, which claimed that they can defeat the crippling sanctions imposed by the West. The document, the product of months of work by officials and experts trying to assess the impact of Russia's economic isolation as a result of President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, paints a much more gloomy picture than officials typically do in their more upbeat public announcements. Bloomberg obtained a copy of the report, which had been prepared for a closed-door meeting of top officials on August 30th, and the report's authenticity has been confirmed. However, under the report's inertial scenario, Russia's doomed economy experiences an 8.3% peak-to-trough slump by 2023, while the stress scenario sees a low in 2024 at 11.9% below the previous year's level. Also, according to leaked financial ministry documents obtained by Bloomberg, the economy ministry's forecast of an 8% decline this year is more pessimistic than the finance ministry's estimate of a 12% contraction. The report also warned of reduced production volumes in a range of export-oriented sectors, such as metals and oils and gas, which are vital to the Russian economy. While the West restricts the importation of goods from Russia, the Kremlin itself has cut off a significant revenue stream by restricting Europe's gas supplies. According to the report, a complete gas cutoff of Europe would result in a lost tax revenue of 400 billion rubles, equivalent to £5.65 billion. Additionally, it stated that there is a significant risk of production being halted simply because Russian companies are finding it difficult to import materials because there are simply no alternative suppliers for some critical imports. The document also noted that the industries of agriculture, aviation, and pharmaceuticals are all highly dependent on the import of goods and Western technology. But despite the reports provided by the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin insists that the Russian economy can survive Western sanctions. According to the Central Bank of Russia, the economy will shrink by 4 to 6% this year, and another 1 to 4% in 2023 before starting to grow again. But analysis predicted that the economy would fall by at least 15% this year when the war first broke out. But the most recent data from Rosstat shows that the third quarter contraction was only negative 4.3%, and Russia appears to be on track to achieve the most optimistic full-year contraction estimates of between 4 and 5% from the CBR and the Economy Ministry. The Bloomberg Report's most upbeat scenario predicts that the economy will bottom out next year at a level that is 8.3% below that of 2021, while the stress scenario projects that the growth will reach its lowest point in 2024 at a rate that is 11.9% below that of last year. Now, the Russian financial system is currently the focus of attention. There have been rumors that Russians are waiting in long lines to use ATMs to withdraw money, which raises the possibility of a banking collapse in the nation. These banks are already the primary target of sanctions and could face even more pressure if borrowers are unable to pay back loans as the inevitable recession hits businesses and households. Now that you're aware of the state of the Russian economy, you should also learn more about what's going on with China's economy in our video about China's financial crisis. We'll see you next time.